Thank you so much for joining me. This is Tarot in White Oracle, where we get into the cloud. This is our Learning Center. And remember, all of the Learning Center videos are free, and I will be publishing many of them. Currently, we are just talking about our Minor Arcana. And so we're going to dive a little bit deeper. In our previous video, we did go over the suits, and then of course the pictures and the colors and the numbers, and of course the elements and how, when they're connected to other cards, how they might affect them. So we talked about 5 aspects of each of the minor cards. In this one, we are going to just talk about astrology, the stars, and of course there's also a planet influence with each of the cards, but we're not going to dive into that. So we want to go ahead and look at our ones at first. Represent, of course, all possibilities, all potentials. You can kind of think of them like a seed to a plant. The seed provides all the possibilities that might happen, right? You can have strawberry seeds, you can have, an oak tree seed. You can even have the seed of a human, right? The semen and egg. So it just represents all possibilities, all potentials. And when you're looking into the astrological connections with the cards, it's important to understand, firstly, the motivation of each element. So when we look at the wands, of course, they represent our fire signs. They are our Aries, there are Libras, our Leos, and our Sagittariuses. So they're the fire signs. And our fire signs have what motivation? Their motivation has to do with getting things done, the action, the passion, the motivation, the desire, the purpose, the soul. So their motivation, so fire signs are very fiery, right? I mean, a lot of times if you have a friend or family, or you know someone in business who's a fire sign, they're very strong people. They're very passionate people. So that's the fire energy. And then when we look at our cups, we get into our emotions, right? So our Cancers, our Scorpios, our Pisces, those are our water energies. And the water energy is all about the emotion, the intuition, the telepathy, the psychic ability, the connecting heart to heart. They lead with their heart kind of people. I've known a few water signs, and they're always very, very, very much into their emotion, or they aim to be, even if they try to deny it. So that is their motivation. They come from a place that's different than where the fire signs come from. And so the way they move in the world is going to be different, because their primary motivation is different from the wands. And so then when we look at our swords, or our air signs, we've got our Libras, our Aquariuses, our Geminis, and they're all about that mind space, the communication, the ideas. They might talk a lot. They might have a lot of ideas, be that idea person in the group. They might live in their head a lot. That's where Aquariuses tend to be, as well as Geminis and Libras. The Aquarius tends to be very communicative with themselves. They might talk to themselves a lot, whereas the Libra is very communicative with other people. They're going to be very social, right? The Sag is the wisest, the most spiritual, so they're going to be talking probably the most at a younger age to God. Of course, it also depends on your moon and your rising and other factors of environment. But generally speaking, that is something that motivates them. And so their motivation, the way they move in the world, is different, which is why Aquariuses also tend to detach from their emotions, right? Because they're very cerebral and they live in their head, and not really understood very well. So then we get to our earth signs, and our earth signs, of course, are our Capricorns and our Tauruses and our Virgos. And so our 3 earth signs like to be grounded. They're very, business oriented. They want the security, the stability, the money. And so our fire signs are also like that in a lot of ways, because they're like go get 'em kind of people. And our earth signs, though, are very much that way as well. So if you understand the motivation of the sign, that gives you more information to understand the cards. Now, how do we apply this to astrology? So once we understand the motivation of each of the signs or each of the elements, then you look at the mode. So the number 1 represents all of the fire signs in wands, all of the water signs in the cups, all of the air signs in the swords, and all of the earth signs in the pentacles or coins. But when we get down to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, now it becomes more specific. It's not all of the signs of that element. And so you can break the zodiac into 3 sections, right? We've got our cardinal, we've got our fixed, and then we've got our mutable. And the cardinal begins the season. It rushes in. It's the leader, the warrior, it's got the strength, right? And then we move into our fixed sign. It's pretty steady. It's not the beginning, it's not the end, it's what we've been doing this whole time. And then we move to the end of the season, which is our mutable sign, which is, hey, we're about to change and go into a new season, so we better be adaptable. And so these are different modes of each motivation. So when you think of cardinal, it's the beginning, the first. And so our 2s, 3s, and 4s are the beginning, the first of the season. And so if you've got any element, if it's earth, or if it's air, or if it's water, or if it's fire, it's going to be cardinal in your 2s and 3s and 4s, because it's the first, right? So of course, if you want to dive a little deeper, by the time you get to 4, you're going to have a little bit of mix of the fixed energy as well. And if you're at the 2, you're going to have a little bit of the 1 energy. So the purest is the one in the middle. So the 3 is the purest cardinal. But all of these are cardinal. And so if you look at your minor arcana and you're like, okay, I've got a 2 and it's a wand. Well, I know this is Aries because this is a cardinal fire. And I know that this is going to be Cancer because it's cardinal water. I know that this is going to be Libra because it's cardinal air. And I know that this is going to be Capricorn because it's cardinal earth. And so 2s, 3s, and 4s are your cardinal energy. It's your first, it's your strongest, it's your Aries, it's your Capricorn, it's your Libra. So when we go into our 5s and our 6s and our 7s, what's next? That's our fixed energy, right? So this is going to be energy that is like Aquarius, or it's going to be energy that's like Scorpio, or it's going to be energy that's like Taurus, or it's going to be energy that's like Leo, right? Because it's going to represent that sign, but now it's fixed. So if I am looking at a 7 of Wands, I know it's going to be Leo because it's fixed fire. If I'm looking at a 7 of Cups, I know that this is going to be Scorpio because this is going to be fixed and it's water. And if I'm looking at the 7 of Air, I know this is Aquarius because this is fixed and it's air. And if I'm looking at 7 of Pentacles, I know that this is going to be fixed and it's going to be earth, so this is going to be Taurus. So this is how you can understand the minor with the astrology. or the zodiac or the sign. So then we get to our last set, which is not cardinal. It's not the first, it's not the strong, moving in leader, and it's not the fixed. Hey, this is what we've been doing all the time. Why are we changing? And we don't want to change or adapt. Now we're at the end. So now we're at our mutable energy. And of course, our mutable earth is Virgo. Our mutable air is Gemini. And our mutable water is going to be Pisces. And our mutable fire is going to be Sagittarius. So if I'm looking at a 10 of Wands, I know this is going to be Sag energy because it's mutable and it's fire. And then if I'm looking at our 10 of Cups, then I know that this is going to be Pisces because it's mutable water. And if I'm looking at the 10 of Swords, I know that this is going to be Gemini because it's mutable air. And then if I'm looking at 10 of Pentacles, I know that this is Virgo because it's mutable earth. So all of our 8s, 9s, and 10s end the season. And they're like, hey, we know we're going to be moving into a new season, so we know we need to be adaptable, movable, and changeable. So we're mutable energy. And we're going to end the season. So this is how you divide all the minor arcana up and understand the astrological or zodiac, or you can say star sign, with each of the cards. And this kind of helps you to dive a little bit deeper as well, because when you're looking at the card, you know, okay, it's a 4. I know that this has to do with foundations and setting up your foundations, building your worlds up. I also can tell in the picture that it's fun and it's friends and family and good times, but I also know that it's a fire card, so it's going to be very fiery, and it's all about that passion and drive and purpose and intention and connection to your soul. I know it's a 4, so I know it's closer to heaven than 10. I know it's more connected to your soul than 10. And then I know it's Aries because this is a cardinal. 2, 3, and 4 is a cardinal fire sign, and I know that Aries personality is a certain way. So these are ways that you can understand the energy of the card a little bit better. And then, you know, the Light Seers deck is really beautiful because it also has the colors, and of course these are a lot of Aries colors. You know, she has the maroons, the yellows, the reds, and it's very fiery. So this is how you can understand the energy better for the minor arcana. And of course it varies too, you know, with other cards that you have. So say that you have, you know, 2 cups cards, you know, in front of your fiery wands card. So now you've got 2 water cards that are kind of damping on the fire energy. And this one, of course, is friendly and fun too. And this one is also friendly and fun, but depending on the context. So this one has to do, say, if they're wondering about their love life and you're drawing for understanding whether the person that you're with wants to be in a connection with you again. This can, of course, not be that good of a sign, right? Because this 4 of Wands is all about that soul connection, that soulmate union. And this card's all about the third party energy. And this card is all about missing opportunities and ignoring and denying. And these 2 water energies are also pouring on the fire, and so they're putting the fire out. So there is a sense then in that person's heart, or motivation, really, since this is a motivation card, there is a sense in their soul that, hey, we need to be connected, we ought to be connected. There seems to be something on my soul that's nagging, but I have all this water energy that's dumping on this union, and so it doesn't look like it's really coming together right now. So this is how you can understand what's being communicated to you in terms of different levels. All right. So hopefully you understand and love this lesson, and we're going to go ahead and dive a little deeper in our next video. And I hope to see you there. Thank you so much for coming, and blessings.